If you were to buy the Super Citizen Edition of Helldivers 2, you would get a lot of cool things. One of them not being the MP-98 Knight. And despite over 100 hours of playtime, I did not know this gun even existed. I swear on Lady Liberty. It wasn't only until after I made a video about the ballistic shield that people, start name dropping the gun to me. I was constantly mentioning how the Defender SMG was like the only primary weapon you can pair with the shield. And thankfully, some of you folks pointed out to me that the Knight SMG existed. Personally, can you blame me? I've never seen anyone use it. I've never seen any patch notes referring to it, and I've not seen so many videos about it. I looked into it, I dropped some of my lunch money into it, booted up the game, and I'm trying it out, and I now know why, because to put it in the nicest way possible, this gun sucks. It's not broken, it's not unplayable. I spent hours on both bot and bug planets running this on Helldive missions, and you can still use it, to complete the mission and extract. So, using the weapon, kind of seeing the ins and outs, what made this gun that was locked behind some deluxe edition paywall such a deluxe disappointment? Before we break it down, because I've just been bagging on it this entire time, I have to say it's a very pretty gun. I think it's the nicest gun in the game visually. It has a nice, wood finish near the grip and has what I think to be some sort of Damascus steel inlay near the top over there. And onto the stats, it has the highest fire rate in the game at 1300. The closest thing to that would have been the pre-adjustment heavy machine gun, which topped off at 1200 RPM. It also deals slightly less damage to the defender and only holds a couple more rounds. And it does not even have a laser sight. So even if you were to pair this with the ballistic shield, you can't even see where you're shooting if you're aiming ADS. Besides that, it also has a pretty high recoil. So if you were to ADS with the ballistic shield, your tough job just got 10 times harder. However, after using it for some time, the recoil is pretty consistent to the point that you can know where to pull your weapon when you shoot it. I found the most success came when I pulled down and slightly to the left, and my shots will be going at where I initially started shooting from. With light penetration, the Knight is still able to take out some of the bot heavies at their weak spot. And if you were able to pair it with something like a stun grenade, you can even, throw it at a Hulk and kill it from behind. Now, even though you can do it, that doesn't mean you should. You put yourself in a lot of danger kind of trying to go toe-to-toe with these heavies, and you're better off pulling off a support stratagem that's more well-equipped to do it. So with that in mind, I'd say that if you were to run the Knight, I only use it for the base mobs. I'm talking the regular bot troops or the small bugs and the hunters. If you do find yourself using it to fight a Berserker, it will take a near whole magazine to kill it, because normally when Berserkers come at you, they do so in some conga-like formation. And you will find yourself, like I did, having to dive away, dump a whole mag, and then look at the next one, and then do the whole process, 7 times. And if I run out, I just run. Same on the other side of the coin. If you were to fight a Stalker with this, you will probably take more than one whole magazine to kill it. And with so many other useful primaries out there to offer more things such as stagger, burning, medium armor penetration, an actual laser sight, the Knight just doesn't hold a candle to any of these guns. Again, it's not completely useless, but if I'm having to take certain playstyles or things that require more work than usual just so that I can compensate for the weaknesses of my primary weapon, I might just be better off considering a different primary. And you can change the fire rate to semi or burst to compensate for the weapon's recoil, but in my opinion, given the high-paced nature of the game, you're better off just trying to get adjusted to the recoil and keeping it on full auto. Also, I recommend using the gun only in third person. Aiming down sights looks cool, but the muzzle flash of you shooting 50 bullets in 3 seconds can make it hard to see where you're shooting. And the third person reticle in general is just very helpful in guiding your shots. I also wouldn't take the supply pack with it, even though the gun absolutely eats through ammo. I'd still take the ballistic shield since it provides forward-facing cover when using it. And I just, again, wouldn't recommend being first person with the shield since it doesn't have the laser sight. When it comes to armor, I like to take light or medium armor to stay on the move while I'm shooting. Even though standing still, crouching, or going prone will help your accuracy, once you really get into the hang of how the recoil works, you can constantly be strafing while shooting. So taking light/medium armor helps with that. And, all roasting aside, I actually do like the gun. You can call that copium all you want, but all this optimization and efficiency argument aside, this is a game with guns, and this is a gun that I like. It looks good, it sounds good, and when I shoot it, it feels good. Especially with a fire rate of 1300. It's goofy, it's silly, and it kills things. That to me is like pure Helldivers. I know the Scorcher is a very meta weapon at this moment. It looks cool with its sci-fi, design, and definitely does the job, but it doesn't sound as powerful as I hoped it would. And I always like to keep switching up my loadouts every time I deploy, so I'll keep using the Knight. So Arrowhead knows it exists and it's being used. I'm pretty sure they have some graphs showing what guns do people use when they deploy, and if I had to take a stab at what that graph would visually look like, it's like this. So it's, to the 10 or 12 of you still using the Knight, you're fighting a good fight. So yeah, in summary, the gun sucks. It's underwhelming by itself, but it's heavily overshadowed when you compare it to what else is there. And now, we looked at this from an optimal mindset, trying to find out what's the min-max thing to bring, so you're just, playing the game super high level. We looked at this from a casual gaming mindset, it's a cool looking gun that shoots fast. It is a part of a deluxe version of the game. So if I was to release a very meta weapon on day one from level 1 and also hide that weapon behind a paywall, it seems like it just looks really bad, Plus, most people who have the deluxe edition for the game would have it from the very beginning, so they would just, have at level 1 their default loadout, the Liberator, the pistol, and then the Knight SMG, and those 3 weapons seem like, a nice little fun variety to have. And probably once they've unlocked more things, they grew out of it and started using other guns, and that's where we are today. That all makes sense to me. So all I'm hoping with this is not to say that the gun needs to be overhauled, it needs to be, meta, it needs to have all these things. I'm just hoping it's not forgotten. I'm just hoping that as the game progresses and they keep adding new things, which is really great, as so much as they keep adding things, I hope that they still, pay attention to things that were there since the beginning. Because to be honest, aside from the Knight SMG, I'm also really hoping that the default Liberator also gets, some love, because that gun's also really fun and cool to shoot. I'm crossing my fingers that the Knight gets some attention in some of these future patches, and we can start to see it more in play. So thanks for watching. If you like what you see, like what you heard, please like and subscribe. I'm looking to do a lot more Helldiver content in the future, as well as a review / breakdown of the upcoming War Bond when it releases. So if you're interested in that, be sure to be on the lookout. And have a nice day.
Extraction complete. Pelican 1 beginning ascent.